Hi guys, on this tutorial we're going to I'm going to be introducing you to an application known as Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is known for, calculation. It's used basically to perform calculations, basic and complex calculations. So calculation that ordinarily would have taken you time, you can just do it with Microsoft Excel. So without much ado, let's launch the application. So simply click on start and then search for the application Excel. Type Excel. Yeah. And here it is. Then we simply click on the application. Yeah, now it's loading up. Okay, it's loading up. The application is still loading up. Okay, here it is. Now, here, a document here is known as workbook. Okay, the document in Excel is known as workbook. So we'll simply open the document. We'll create a blank workbook. Yeah, this is what a blank workbook looks like. So I'm simply going to introduce us to the environment. The environment seems similar to Microsoft Word environment also, although they have their differences. So here it remains the title bar as usual that carries the title of the document, but here you are seeing book 1, which means it's a workbook. Okay, a file in Excel is known as workbook. So now, as it is now, you can I'll simply show you all the basic things that you need to know. So here is where you input your formula. Okay, this is your formula bar, and these are your tabs that contains different functionalities. This is home, this is insert, this is page layout, this is formulas, this is data, review, view, and so on. So let's return back to home. Sorry, let's return back to home. Okay, so as usual, we have our scroll bar here. It enables you to scroll up and down, and we have the horizontal scroll bar. Okay, it enables you to scroll from the left to the right. Okay, and then this is your printable area, just like in Microsoft Word also, but the differences are all these lines. Now here you take note of something. We have what we call columns and we have what we call rows. Columns are the vertical lines, while rows are the horizontal lines. So as you can see here, these are our columns. Yeah, these are our columns. Yeah, and then these are our rows. Okay, these are our rows. These are our rows. Okay, now the intersection of a row and column, okay, is what makes up a cell. This is what we call a cell. This square shaped that you are seeing here is what we call a cell. Okay, now each and every cell has a name. The combination of the column and the row is what we call the cell address. Now if you are addressing this particular cell that is here, now you combine the name of the cell row and the cell column to call it. This cell now over here is called cell A1. Okay, if I'm asked you to call the cell address, you refer to it as A1. Here, if you create a cell here and you are going to input a data in that cell, you are going to call it D2 because it's the combination of both the name of the column, which is D, and the name of the row. Okay, now under this particular application, pages are known as worksheets. Okay, if you are creating a page over here, it's called a sheet, and it's very simple to create. If you want to create a new page, a new worksheet, now all you simply do is to click on this plus sign under here and you create a new worksheet. Okay, you can create as many worksheets as possible whereby you'll be doing all your basic calculations. Okay, here, 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 and here. We have create as many worksheets as possible. Okay, create as many worksheets where you'll be performing your basic calculations. Okay, now the next thing I'll be showing you, quite all right, we all know that we have basic operators in mathematics that we use for calculation: minus, plus, divide, and multiplication. So here I'm going to show you the major signs that represent all these, operators, mathematical operators. This particular sign is what represents minus. Okay, in Excel spreadsheet, this is minus. Okay, this is minus. This sign is minus. Okay, then this sign, hold shift. Anywhere you see this, when you hold shift and press it on your keyboard, you see this sign. That is multiplication sign for you when it comes to Excel. Then when you press your slash, take for example, let me just create a simple formula here. Let's say 12/2. Okay, you see now, whenever you see something like this, this is division. Okay, in this particular application, this is what represents what? Division. Okay, and this other sign, anywhere you see this sign, when you hold shift and press 6, anywhere you see this sign is the correct sign. It represents power. Okay, it represents power in Microsoft Excel. Like whenever you want to raise a particular number by the other. Okay, so that is it. So it's all gonna make sense by the time we start doing calculations. Take for example, we have figures like these figures. For example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, we have all these figures here, and now we want to create a simple formula that will add everything together. Okay, now this cell address, this is B1. Okay, this is B2, this is B3, this is B4, this is B5, this is B6, B7, B8, and then B9. You can see. Now if I want to sum all this together using a formula, okay, all I will simply need to do is to press equal sign. Before you input any formula in Excel, you have to first of all input your equal sign. Okay, so when that is done, you hold shift and then you create a bracket. You identify the name of the cell address of the first figure, which is B1. Okay, now if you want to use just normal plus sign to add, you can just hold shift and then you press plus on your keyboard. Okay, then you take note of the other figure, which is, you take note of the other data, which is B2, then plus B3, plus B4, plus B5, plus B6, plus B7, plus B8, plus B9. Okay, when you are done, you simply hold shift, close your bracket, and then you hit enter. What happens? It gives you the total summation of everything. Okay, this is a long procedure. I'm going to also teach you a short form of doing it. If you want to sum all these figures together in mathematics or in Excel, there is a specific formula for addition, which is sum. Okay, when you want to sum, you simply, first of all, you input your formula, your equal sign. Okay, you type sum, then you hold shift and then you open your bracket. Okay, now you are summing from what? You are summing from the first cell address down to the last cell address. Okay, so here you are only going to take note of the first cell address and the last cell address. You will not be imputing them one after the other because it's time consuming. So you type B1 Then you type column in the middle and then the last cell address, which is B9. Okay, then you close your bracket. When you hit enter, it will give you the same result, and it's more faster and easier to use. Okay, so then we'll look at subtraction. Okay, take for example, you want to subtract here. Okay, you want to subtract. It's very easy and simple. Let's say we want to subtract this last figure on the last cell address. We want to subtract 5 from it. So how do we do this? First of all, we hit our equal sign, we open bracket, we identify the last cell address, which is B9. Then we type minus that cell where 5 is what? B5. Okay, then we'll close the bracket and hit enter. Sorry, you can see it has given us our answer. And then in terms of multiplication, if you were to multiply two figures together, how do you do that? It's very easy. Take for example, you want to multiply 9 by, let's say 9 by this particular figure here. So how do you do that? You press equal sign, you open your bracket, B9, you hold shift and press 8 to give you that asterisk sign, because asterisk stands for multiplication here. Then let's say we are multiplying it by let's say 5 for example, and 5 is under B5. Okay, so we type B5 as the cell address. Okay, then we'll close the bracket and then hit enter. It gives us our answer. Okay, then the next one we're also going to look at is power. Okay, how do you use a formula to derive power in Microsoft Excel? It's pretty much simple. So how do you do it? You press your equal sign, we open bracket. Let's say we are still going to use the same figures to achieve that. How do we do it? We'll come here, we'll type let's say we're saying that okay, this last figure, which is B9. Okay, we're using this same last figure again, raised to power of B2. Okay, so how do we do that? We'll hold shift and press 6 to bring out the caret sign. Then we'll type B2. Okay, then we'll close the bracket and hit enter. What happens? It gives us our answer as 81, which means 9 raised to power of 2. Okay, 9 raised to power of 2. Now that is that about the basic operators. And here also there is what we know as auto sum. This is just automatic summation of things. Okay, all these basic operations can be done with it automatically. So we are going to also learn how to use it to achieve all these things. Take for example these figures that is given here. We want to sum them automatically. Okay, first of all we need to do first is to highlight. Okay, come to auto sum and just click to give us the total. You don't need to input anything. Once you just click on auto sum, it will give you the total. Okay, now let me delete the answer and then find another, do another computation. So take for example here. Now what I want to do here is to find the average. Okay, I'll click on this arrow and then select average. It will give me the average as 4.5 automatically without inputting any formula. So let me wipe it off again and do another thing. Okay, so take for example I also want to perform the third computation under auto. I'll simply come here and then let's say I want to count numbers, all these numbers that are here. I want to know the total numbers that are here automatically. You just click on count numbers, it will give you the total numbers that are there. The total numbers that are found here are 9. Okay, you use formula to derive this value. Okay, so the next thing under auto is let's check it out. is max. Max means the maximum value. If you want to know the maximum value among these values, automatically you simply click on max and it will give you 9. 9 is the highest value, okay? So this is also alternatively, if you want to input the formula, this is the alternative formula that you key in by yourself manually, okay? And then the last but not the least is mean, which is the minimum value. If you want to know the minimum value, you always highlight before you come into AutoSum, or you have to highlight all your figures. So you come to AutoSum and then you select minimum. It gives you 1, which means 1 is the minimum value. Okay, now that's it.
So still under the basic knowledge of Excel, I wouldn't want a situation whereby I will overwhelm you with a lot of calculations. So I will simply just take us through the basics, because this particular tutorial is meant for you to just have a basic knowledge. And if you want to go further and study more, deep into the calculation aspect, then we can also look into it. But this is just a basic knowledge tutorial, okay? So take for example in your business. Take for example, you run a business whereby customers come in day in, day out, and you earn income, and you also you also expend, you also spend money on a daily basis, which is your expenses, your daily expenses, and you want to calculate it using Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to be showing you the necessary steps that you need to take, okay, to achieve that. So now, I told you earlier on that these are cells. Anywhere a column and a row intersect to form a square shape is called a cell. So take for example, you are running a business whereby let's say you have customers. So let's create a cell for customers. Then let's create another cell for let's say income, then daily expenditure, okay, then balance. Let's say let me expand this, okay, let me expand this column. Now let's say under this customer, let's say we have customer A. Customer A brought income of 100,000, 1 2 3, okay. That very day you expended, let's say 20,000, 1 2 3, okay. Customer B brought in 20,000, 1 2 3. You expended 5,000 that day, or let's say 500 that day, okay. Then customer C brought in 40,000, 1 2 3. Then you expended, let's say 1,500 naira that very day. Now if you want Excel to be generating figures for you, whenever you input all these things, you just be generating the balance for you automatically. There is a way to do it. Let's simply input our formula here. So what we simply need to do here is just to minus what is on this particular cell from what is on this particular cell to get our balance, right? Very simple arithmetic. So all we will do is to press our equal sign. Like I told you, the golden rule is to always input your equal sign before any other thing if you want to input formula or if you want to work with formula. So now we simply recognize the cell address, because you can't call this 100,000. No, it is under cell 2 column B, okay, cell 2 column B, that is B2, okay. So you simply open your bracket and then type B2, okay. Now minus C2, okay. Then you hold your shift and then close the bracket, then you hit enter to get your answer, which means your answer is 80,000. Now if you want to generate other answers automatically, this dotted sign under this cell, now you place your cursor on it, it will change to cross sign, okay. Then you hold your click button down and drag it down. It will generate other answers for you automatically without necessarily having to input the same formula, okay. You can see it has generated other answers for me automatically, okay. So now anytime I input any let's say I input any new customer, now take for example customer D now came and then gave me 200,000 naira income, and then or let's say 20,000 naira income, and then that very day I expended, let's say 700 naira. Okay, you can see it will automatically compute it and give me my answer. Let's say customer E now came, expended 250,000. I earned 250,000 naira, sorry, and then I expended, let's say, 30,000 that very day. Okay, so you can see automatically it will generate my answer for me on the go. Okay, this is just to show you a real life scenario where you can apply Excel to solve a problem. Okay, even in your shop, even at your place of work. Okay, this kind of thing just can come, and then you just simply compute it and be generating your result automatically.
So on this tutorial, we're going to be looking at, another real life example of how you can also apply this particular application to solve a problem. Okay, but before then, let me quickly show you some basic things that you also need to know. Take for example, you are working on this spreadsheet now, and you made a mistake, and you want to delete it off. What you simply do, like for example, you have something like this. Okay, and you realize that this figures that you have input, or this text that you have input, is not supposed to be here. All you simply need to do is to highlight it. Okay, you just click and drag. Okay, you click on this first cell and then you drag it down, then you press your delete button. That's how to delete. Okay, so now what we want to do now is to simply create a simple inventory management. Okay, for a small scale business, it may be a supermarket, it may be a shop, or whatever. Okay, take for example, you receive goods on a daily basis and you want to know the total worth of those goods that you are receiving. Okay, so we are going to make it very very easy and then straightforward for each and every one of us to understand, for us to understand. Okay, so now the first step that we need to take here is to type the name of our establishment. Let's say Dorai Investment. So let's assume that the name of our establishment is Dorai Investment. Okay, so we simply type under this goods description. Okay, goods description. Okay, quantity. Okay, then price. Okay, then total worth. Okay, total worth. Okay, so take for example, you received this particular good, rice. Okay, you received 12 bags of rice. Okay, let's say rice per bag. Okay, so you receive 12 bags of rice, and then the price is let's say 25,000. Okay, okay, so now, okay, then here you have beans. Okay, let's say you received 30 bags. Okay, let's say beans per bag. Let's say we received 30 bags. Okay, at the rate of each bag is let's say 45,000 naira. Okay, so this is it. Now I want to know the total worth of this. Okay, so what we'll simply do is to input a formula equals to open bracket. We identify the cell name of this particular cell here that carries 12. Okay, so the cell name of this particular cell here is, or cell address is C3, because it is column B row 3. Okay, so we simply type B3. Okay, B3, I told us that multiplication sign is represented as asterisk. This sign that I just imputed here, which is on your keyboard on letter 8 on your keyboard, carries asterisk sign, and that asterisk sign stands for multiplication on Excel. Okay, so you hold shift to press it, like I did now. You hold shift and then you press it. Okay, so now we are multiplying this particular cell by this to get our total worth. Okay, so we simply type C3. okay, because that's the next cell. So we close the bracket and then we hit enter. This is the total worth of goods. Okay, then if you place your cursor underneath this dotted sign here, it will change to cross. You just drag them down so that it will generate the figures for you automatically. Okay, it automatically multiply this by this and give you the final total worth. Now, take for example, you are also selling Maggi, okay, per bag, Maggi per sachet, okay. Let's say you received 60 sachets that very day for each is let's say for 500 naira, okay. You automatically calculate it. That means 30,000 naira, okay. You received you received you received, let's say, cowbell, one, let's say one bag per bag. Let's say you received 50 bags, okay, and each bag is let's say 25,000, okay. So it will automatically multiply it and give you the total. So now, if you want to know the grand total of everything, what would you do? The total sum of everything, which is the grand total. To know the exact value of everything that you have key in so far, let's just type a column for grand total. Grand total. Okay. So grand total is the summation of what is contained under total worth. All the figures contained under total worth. Okay. So you just press your equal sign as usual, open a bracket, you take note of the cell name of the first item under total worth and the last item under total worth, so that you just do your computation within that limit. Or you can do it, let's say the last item here is this cell, okay. So we just take note of the name of the first cell, which is D3, okay, and the name of the last cell, which is D20. Okay, so we simply key in D3, D3, then we type colon. Sorry, we are summing it. Sorry, so we are summing everything. So we type sum, open bracket, D3, colon, D20. Then we'll close the bracket and then hit enter. This is our grand total. Even if you input a new, let's say you received sugar, okay, and 60 bag, and each bag is 50,000, okay, it will add it and you see it will reflect on the grand total, okay. So this is another real life application of Microsoft Excel towards easing your calculation that would have been complex for you. It will just ease it. You could just be running it automatically, okay. So this is just basically to give you an insight of how Excel can be of help to you to manage your business. This is just a basic knowledge. There are other tutorials for advanced knowledge regarding this particular application on how to